Hello everyone, welcome to Compiler Design class. Today we are going to discuss about access to non-local names or non-local data. So how do we access the data which is not local to the procedural call? So in the previous session that we discussed about the storage allocation and how if a procedure is being called inside the memory, how does the activation record is being created and how the data are the variables will be called and all those informations that we have seen in our previous session. Now let us see about access to non-local data and non-local names. So access to non-local names, there are two types of uh, um, non-local names. Those are static scope and dynamic scope. So why it is called non-local names are for every procedure or for every function call, you will have a local data or a local variable, you call it as. Yes. So the variable which are not in the local function, you're calling from a different function, those datas or those variables, you call it as a non-local variables. So how do we access that kind of an variables if we are not going to use it in our procedure? How does it link with the current procedure? These methodology that we are going to see it here. So there are two types. Those are static scope and dynamic scope. Static scope is also called as lexical scope, we call it as. So let's discuss about that. Static scope or lexical scope we have used by block structured languages and used by non-block structured languages. Dynamic scope is. So block structured languages is, for example, you have a program, you could see number of function is being called one after the other to complete one process or one procedure. Okay, then you can make it a block in that, and then you can proceed with it, and you can name it as block 1, block 2, block 3, and with the help of that we will be able to find out the non-local variables, and we can access those variables using a method called access link and display. Okay, static scope, how it works is, let me give an example so that you will understand. I've taken from a local author book, which is technical publication in India. So let me explain that. You see, this is a program. So scope test, in that scope test is a function. Inside the function, it is being defined int p comma q. So there are two variables inside scope test. Inside this, I have another variable int p. Okay. Inside that int p, I have another variable int r. If I execute int r only, I'll be able to know this int p and q, and then I will be able to know the complete scope test. So I need to execute another block which is int qst. So how does the allocation be? I mean, how does the storage is being allocated in a memory? Let's just see that. So see here, the storage can be allocated for a complete procedure body at one time. See here, it has been splitted into number of fragments, and in that number of segments, in that you see, initially P of procedure B1. P of B1 is procedure B1. I have named my main function to be, not main function, that is the complete procedure to be B1. Inside that B2, inside that B3, and then B4. Okay, so procedure B1, P of B1, and what is the next variable? Q of B1. I have two variables P and Q in B1. So this is the topmost one, top and the bottom. Okay, now next one. See here, I will not be able to execute this until or unless the B2 procedure is being executed. So P of B1, Q of B1, then P of B2. P of B2. Inside B2, I had P1, int P, correct? So P of B2. Yes? Then that is in the top. Okay. Then P of B1 in the next step, P of B1, Q of B1, P of B2, I have to execute R of B3. Okay, it is done, executed. Here R of B3 is executed. Now see, P of B1, Q of B1, P of B2. Since it has executed, my P of B2 has to be executed now. So it has executed here. So P of B1, Q of B1 now. Now this is over. This part is over. Now I need to execute this. So P of B1, Q of B1, Q of B4, S of B4 and T of B4. In the next procedure, it will be done. It will be over because this will be done. Once this will be done, I'll be able to find out P and Q. That is, this is how an activation record will be created. It keeps jumping whenever the variable, the variable for this one will be P comma Q. The variable for this will be, this block will be P. Variable for this block will be R. Variable for this block will be QST. So it's all different variables. So if I need to access, I need to be separating like this. This one is a method of a lexical scope, you call it as. So it is visible at the program points only. This will be visible at the program's points only. The declaration that are made locally in the procedures. So whenever the procedure is being called, only the declaration will be made locally. So the next one will be, what if a nested, if I'm going to have a nested procedure. So if it's a nested procedure, it will be, if a procedure is declared inside another procedure, then that procedure is known as a nested procedure that we would have seen long back in the first year. So procedure main, inside the main, I have procedure P1, P2, P3, P4. I need to create an activation record for P4, P3, P2, P1. Only after that, I'll be able to execute my complete program. This is how it will be put into the stack. Initially in the stack, main will be put before this P1 is been starts executing, the activation record will be created and P2 activation record will be created inside the stack. Excuse me, and P3 activation record will be created and P4 activation record will be created. It will complete this, then this, then this, then this, and then finally the main. This is how it will be working it. Then we'll see access link and display are the two types of static scope or lexical scope, we call it as. Access link is, there will be an access link block. A block will be dedicated to form access link. I'll show you that. Give me 1 second. I'll show you. Like for example, this is a block. You consider it. Okay, this is a block. All right. So here I have my procedure P of B1. Okay, and the local variables of that and the activation record of that will be created. And here I have an access link. This is B1. Now P of B2. And I have an access link here. So it means for every block, there will be an access link. So for example, as we discussed earlier here in this example, I told you these are the blocks considered to be blocks. I'll enlarge it. So these are considered to be blocks, block 1, block 2, block 3 and block 4. In each block, I'll have an access link. So from one block to another block, non-local variables, if I wanted to access this queue, then I will have an access link wherein the access link will be having an information about the another non-local variables which is going to be connected. That we have seen it in the activation record. You remember in the last session that I have explained about activation record, wherein I have explained about access link. The access link will be stores the information of data which is outside the local scope, which is not inside the local scope, which is outside the local scope. You call it as access link, that we have discussed earlier. Yes, so I'm skipping that. If you want, you can go through it once so that you will understand. All right, so this is how it will be created. I'm sorry, where is that diagram which we created? So the link will be the arrow, I'm sorry, like the access link will be connected with this. Okay, this access link will be going to this access link. So I will be able to take up the variables which is in B1 also. Even if I have an access link with the with B2, I can access my B2 variables also. This is how the access link will be working. The next one is display. The another type of an lexical scope is your display. Access link over, then display. One more method for, I forgot to explain you, I'm really sorry. Nested procedure is, this is what we have discussed, right? So here you see this diagram. You see main procedure, procedure A, procedure B, then procedure C. Same like that I've just mentioned as procedure. See, this is one, block 2, block 3, block 4. Starting, ending, starting, ending, starting, ending, starting, ending. For each block, you will have a begin and end point. Yes, initially, every main block will be starting with depth will be 1. The depth for the entire program will be calculated as 1. And the program or the procedure which is next to that block, or the procedure call which is next, which is inside your main block, first procedure will be your depth 2. So if it is having any nested procedure, so for procedure A, I need to have procedure B, correct? So this has to be plus 1 of your main. So main is 1, 1 plus 1, 2 here. Again, for this again, one more. For procedure A, there is one more has been added. So 2 plus 3. That is 2 plus 1 will be your 3. Okay, and for this, it will be added from the parent only. Correct? That is in the from the main only. So depth is 1. 1 plus 1 will be your 2. And then for each ending minus 1 you have to calculate. Your depth is 3. So 3 minus 1, your ending is 2. The depth of your end point will be 2 and depth of this will be 1. And the depth of your C will be 1 and the final depth will be on 1 only. This is how you will be calculating for nested loop. Lexical scope for nested loop. This is the procedure to calculate the depth of it. That is what I have mentioned here. Access link. As I told you, access links are the pointers used in the implementation of lexical scope, which is obtained by using pointers to each activation record. So every activation record, we will have that access link. If a procedure P is nested within the procedure Q, so P is nested within procedure Q, then access link of P points to access link or most recent activation record of procedures Q. So that is how, for if it is P and Q is being nested, so access link of P and Q, that is what I've explained you in the last diagram. I've drawn a tabulation and I've explained you. Okay. Then the next one is display. For display, if you take up, it will be like you will have a pointer separately wherein you will not be able to see if only the numbers will be seen in the display. Okay. So, for example, this is mainly used for speeding up your access. It will also be acting as an pointer for your program. So if I click on one, if I view one, I'll be able to see my procedure 1. That is, my procedure 1 will be executed. 2, my procedure 2 will be executed and on the variables inside it. So for each, I will have activation record in the display. I mean, the display will be having it, everything. Only in the display will be visible, not the interior thing will not be visible. That is your display. Okay. And the next one, which I have not included in the slides, I guess. So the next one is deep axis and shallow axis. There is deep axis and shallow axis are kind of dynamic scope. Dynamic scopes are something, as we discussed earlier. I told you static scope and dynamic scope. We have two. This will be like at the runtime, the declarations will be created. The declaration will be done at the runtime only. That is your dynamic scope because it keeps changing it. That is called your dynamic, correct? And deep axis and shallow axis will be um, the stack will keep. I mean, the stack deep axis is the stack will be. I mean, keeps track of the active variables only. That is, it will not be able to activate, or it will not be able to have an variables which is not active. So it will keep track of active variables um, instead of access links. So it will not have an access link for that. um, Instead of access links, it will have a control link in the deep axis. So every blocks will be having I mean, it will not be like a block. The complete program will have a control link, not an access link. So those variables will be saved in that. So whenever you wanted to have a variables, top to bottom, the complete stack is being scanned, and then it is taking off the variables. It will not be taking as a scope. So what deep access is, from top to bottom, it will scan the complete program, and it can take off the variables anywhere from your program. It will be able to take it. That is your deep access. So a shallow axis will be, it will keep a central storage. It will have a central storage. Uh, that is, I mean, it will be creating one slots for every variables. For each variable, it will be creating a. Did I mention? So every variables will be having it in one slots. So the names are, it will not be created at runtime at all. So since it is there in the slots, it will be taking it at the time of compilation. It will be taking the things which is already there. So this is about all about your deep access and shallow access. Deep access complete program, shallow access one slot for a variables will be created, and in that slots all the variables will be put into it. So whenever a variable is required, that slots will be that slot will be taken off and finding out the variables. And if you wanted to add up any variables, that is also possible. All right, this is all about your um, access to non-locals. Since issues of code generated, we have already discussed about this. Introductions to garbage collections. We'll discuss about mark and sweep garbage collection algorithm in the next slide. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any queries, please leave a comment on it. Thank you.